Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Ang ganda mo ngayon. You look great today. Okay, the first phrase is, ang ganda mo ngayon. You look great today. This is kind of a double-edged sword because if you say, you look great today, did they look not great yesterday? But still, it's nice to hear, I guess. Ganda mo ngayon. Makeup ka, no? Miss na kita. I miss you. Next phrase is, miss na kita. I miss you. If you're away and they say I miss you, then that's fine, I guess, because like you're not together. But if someone says you and you've been hanging out like every day, that means something else. Like you're there but not there kind of thing. So see for yourself. So if you want to say that I really miss you, then you just say miss na kita. May bonus sa katapusan ng buwan. There'll be a bonus at the end of the month. Okay, the next phrase that you always want to hear is, may bonus sa katapusan ng buwan. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. Yeah, this one, you'd want to hear this. Especially if you're like, not good with the bills. Napakagaling mong magluto. You're an excellent cook. Napakagaling mong magluto. You're an excellent cook. If you know how to cook, unlike me, and you give your friends some of the things you cook, and they say this to you, then always want to hear that. Yeah. Magpahinga ka. Ako ang maglilinis ngayon. Take a break. I'll do the cleaning today. Magpahinga ka. Ako ang maglilinis ngayon. Take a break. I'll do the cleaning today. Oh, yeah. Like, guess if you hear this, that would be very great as well. I need help with the cleaning. Tama ka. You were right. Okay, another thing you might want to hear is, tama ka. Or, you were right. Yeah, I guess you want to hear this when you're in an argument. Dinalhan kita ng isang espesyal na bagay. I brought you something special. Next one is, dinalhan kita ng isang espesyal na bagay. That means, I brought you something special. I want something special. Unlimited ang budget. The budget is unlimited. Next phrase you would want to hear is, unlimited ang budget. Or, the budget is unlimited. Definitely, if you want like a bunch of equipment and they say to you, the budget is unlimited. Like, yeah! Ililibre kita. I'll treat you. Next one is, ililibre kita. Meaning, I'll treat you. Ah, so nice. Oh, many Filipinos love hearing this. So like, if you want to make Filipino friends, make sure to say this. Yeah. Ang bait mo. You're kind. Ang bait mo. Meaning, you're kind. Sometimes it's nice to know that like your kindness is being appreciated. So like if someone says this to you, then you'll feel happy, I guess. If you want to convey that they're very kind, just repeat the adjective. So it's gonna be, ang bait-bait mo. So that means you're very kind.
Ang gwapo mo. You're handsome. Two possible circumstances. First, if the person is really, really handsome. Second, if you want something from that person. So, for example, you want something done for you. You go to this person and say, oh, ang gwapo mo. Pwede bang pakitulungan ako? In English, you're handsome. Can you help me with this? Ang galing mo. Or, you're good. But this is very nice to hear, right? If your boss tells you, oh, you're good at what you do, keep doing it. Then you say, oh, thank you. Can you raise my salary? Right? So it's not about you being kind, but it's more about you were able to do something. Like you excelled at something. So in sports, for instance, or as I've said, in your job, you were able to do something very nice, then this is a proper compliment. So also, if your friend helped you, and this friend actually did a very good job, for instance, then you would also say, ang galing mo, or you're good. Mahusay kang kaibigan. You are an awesome friend. I don't really say this to my friends. I mean, we have more of like a love-hate kind of relationship, so. I mean, it's good if you actually say this more to people that you are not so close to. Yeah, because once you get close to a person, then you can actually insult this person.
Yeah.
And that's more like the kind of friendship that you will get, like more of like love-hate kind of, right? But then, of course, you want to compliment because compliments actually make you feel nice. And when you feel nice, you do things much nicer. So, this is something that you can tell your friend. You are an awesome friend. Mahusay kang kaibigan. Mas maganda palalo ang iyong kalooban kaysa sa iyong panlabas na anyo. Your inside is even more beautiful than your outside. I think if I'm your friend, I won't even like this because I want my outside to be more beautiful than my inside. Because I'm vain like that. I don't care about what you think of me inside. As long as you think I'm beautiful. I think more people are going to like that one than this. I mean, if you tell this to someone, what would that person say? And this person would probably say, what do you think of me? I'm not beautiful on the outside. Right? It's not so nice, but you can try. Let's see how far you will go. But it's actually nice to compliment people's inside. Kahanga-hanga ang iyong resume. Your resume is impressive. And this is very helpful when you're being interviewed. And if you hear this phrase, then that means you have a good chance of getting the job. Because that means your resume is actually very impressive for them. But sometimes, you know how HR people are, right? They just tell you, oh, your resume is very impressive, but I'm sorry, we found someone with a more impressive resume than you. So if someone tells you, oh, your resume is very impressive, then it also tells you that, okay, you're on the right track with whatever you want to be, right? So I think that's very helpful. Magaling, or great job. Saya no, great job. So this is a common phrase, common compliment that you will hear. So you can use it in many different circumstances, like you accomplished something. So if you also troubleshoot something, you're able to do it, then your boss will say, oh, that's good job, or great job, better job, best job.
Greatest job.
Bestest job. Bagay sa'yo ang jacket na yan. That jacket looks nice on you. After you compliment them on the inside, you also compliment them on the outside, right? But your compliment only goes to the jacket, not per person. You can change jacket into whatever things. Bagay is, it fits you, right? So when you say bagay, other than it meaning a thing, right? Bagay also means it suits you. So you can say, that dress suits you. So bagay sa'yo ang bestida na yan. Or that hat suits you for whatever reason you're wearing a hat, right? So, or those glasses suit you. So that's actually a very useful compliment to learn. Maganda ang taste mo. You have good taste. So this is a very nice compliment if someone tells you, oh, you have very good taste in, say, furniture, right?
Furniture.
Or in clothes, or on, house decor, right? That's a very nice, because that means, we use the same word actually, taste. But usually we just say, maganda ang taste mo. Or okay ang taste mo, right? Okay ang taste mo. Which all means you have good taste. Maganda ang iyong ngiti. Your smile is beautiful. I think you only say this to your prospective partners. You don't say this to your friends, right? Because if you say this to your friends, they'll be like, "What is wrong with you?" Right? So, maganda means beautiful. So you can replace ngiti with many other things. So you can say, bag. Maganda ang iyong bag. Or, your bag is beautiful. Or, maganda ang iyong buhok. Or, your hair is nice. Right? Maganda ang iyong damit. Or, your clothes are nice. So, you can change ngiti to something more appropriate for the occasion. But if you're courting someone, maganda ang iyong ngiti can actually help. But then, whoever you're courting is going to be like, what? I think it would be much better if you say, maganda ang ngipin mo. You have good teeth. Ang ganda mo. You look gorgeous. Or you look beautiful. Or you look pretty, depending on the level of prettiness. Right? Ang ganda mo, which means you look gorgeous or you look beautiful. Or you can also say, ang cute mo. Right? Which means you look cute. And we say this like for small people. Ah, you're so cute. Right? I have 2 close friends who are very, very petite. And they're really, really cute. They're like my kids. They're so cute. So, if you want to say that she or he is very, very beautiful, then you can just repeat words. So, ang ganda-ganda mo. Ang galing-galing mo. Right?
So that means
And then you can change your tone to make it sarcastic. So if you think that this person is actually not really good at this job, but you want to be sarcastic and say, ang galing-galing mo. I mean, we like being sarcastic in Filipino, so you will hear that a lot.
Bakasyon, which means vacation. I think I know why this one is a chosen word, because like everyone wants a vacation. Yes, everyone. Of course, since everyone wants a vacation, then most people would be asking this. Kailan ang susunod nating bakasyon? Kailan ang susunod nating bakasyon? This means, when is our next vacation? When is our next vacation? Don't know. Well, on your next vacation, go to the Philippines. And you'll have a lot of fans. Balut. Balut. Our next favorite word chosen by is balut. I think it's also translated as balut because it's a type of food. Some people might not call it food, especially vegetarians and vegans. But balut is this it's duck egg, which has an almost duck inside. Anyway, it's actually very nice. I don't really eat the duck. I give it to my mom. But the other parts aren't nice. Anyway, as an example, masarap ang balot. Masarap ang balot. This means balut is delicious. I think it is. But I don't think that's the only opinion about it. Okay, our next favorite word is kaibigan, meaning friend. Let me say something about this word, because like, you have to say it like this. Kaibigan. Kaibigan. Because kaibigan means friend. But when you twist it a bit and say it like this, kaibigan. Kaibigan. That's kind of, it's not really a natural way of saying it, but it actually means lover. So, like, when you tease your friends that, like, you think might be getting together, you say, like, are you sure you're kaibigan or kaibigan? And, you know, there's a saying, quality over quantity, so maybe for people who doesn't have much friends, you could use this sentence. Kakaunti lamang ang aking kaibigan. Kakaunti lamang ang aking kaibigan. This means I only have a few friends. So, yeah, it's not always about the quantity. Kumusta? How are you? Well, for Spanish people out there, you might recognize this a bit because it comes from the Spanish ¿Cómo estás? Because, you know, long time ago, 300 years of Spanish colonizations will make your language have some Spanish things in them. Definitely remember this. And here's one point that you should know, but when Filipino people actually ask you Kumusta, it's not just how English-speaking people would say, how are you? And then it's just like a greeting. When Filipino actually ask Kumusta, they really want to know how you are. So people really answer back how they are. Another favorite word chosen by fans is kape, coffee. And if you want to order coffee, you want to know how to say it so that you can order it every day. Because some people do not exist without coffee. Well, they are technically not yet alive without coffee in them. So remember this word, kape. For some people, this is not true. This is actually not true for me, but if it is true, you could use this sentence. Hindi ako mahilig sa kape. Hindi ako mahilig sa kape. This means, I don't like coffee. Please forgive me. It's just a sample sentence. Like, I do like coffee. Maganda, which means beautiful. Yeah, I like this word. I do like this. Why do I like this? Because it's nice. It's beautiful. Anyway, if someone called Maria and you think they're beautiful, you could use this sentence. Maganda si Maria. Maganda si Maria. Which means Maria is beautiful. Well, basically, you could just add any other name you want to put in there to mean that they are beautiful. And I think it will make their day. Or you could just say maganda ka, which means you are beautiful. Yeah, definitely make a habit of saying that to people. Okay, the next word is magmahal, to love. It also kind of means, well, not kind of, it also means sometimes to get expensive. So, make sure you're using the right context. Ang magmahal ay magsakripisyo. Ang magmahal ay magsakripisyo. Which means to love is to sacrifice. Okay, our next favorite word is malusog, which means healthy. Yeah, I guess you want this word to be true for you and your family. But it's also kind of... Filipino is such a difficult language. Everything has a double meaning. So when someone says you're malusog, it's either you're healthy or you're basically not thin. Meaning you're like healthy and growing sideways. Anyway, context. But yeah, usually it means healthy. Like in this example. Mag-ehersisyo ng sapat upang maging malusog. Mag-ehersisyo ng sapat upang maging malusog. Exercise enough to be healthy. So you see from this context that malusog is healthy and not growing sideways. Our next favorite word is maniwala, meaning to believe. Why do you think it's a favorite word? Maybe you could help me figure this out. You could put your comments in the comment section. Anyway, you might need this example sometime in your life when you want someone to believe in you. Maniwala ka sa akin. Maniwala ka sa akin. This means believe in me. Yes, please believe that I know Filipino. Please believe that I know Filipino. Because I'm Filipino. Masaya. Happy. It's nice to be happy, so this word is a lot of people's favorite word. And since a lot of people can be happy, a lot of people can also be cheesy. And they could say this to someone that they're happy to see. And it is, masaya akong makita kang muli. Masaya akong makita kang muli. This means I am happy to see you again. Well, I am happy to see you again here. And I hope you are happy to see me again here. So, let's be happy together. Matulog, meaning to sleep. Earlier, it seems like people like the word for coffee, which is kape. But I think a lot more people like this word better. Yeah, if you don't want to feel a zombie in the morning, this is always what is advised to me. And that is, matulog ka ng maaga. Matulog ka ng maaga. This means you should sleep early. Which is technically impossible right now because it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I have a lot of fans to work with. Here's our next favorite word. Pera. This means money. Can I borrow money? Guess not. I know this word is a favorite for a lot of people, but I think a lot of people also want to know what this sentence is in Filipino. Wala akong pera. Wala akong pera. Which means I have no money. So I cannot treat you anything. But if we have love, that's enough, I think. Respeto. Meaning respect. This is easy to remember, but it's not very easy to remember to have most of the time, I think. So, something you should remember, not just the word. So, as a sample sentence, I think this applies mostly to everyone. Lahat ay gusto ng respeto. Lahat ay gusto ng respeto. This means everyone wants respect. And I think everyone deserves respect. I mean, if they give respect in return, I don't know, it's that vicious cycle. Okay, our next favorite word is salamat, which means thank you. This is a very, very good word to remember and should be in your top favorite words. Salamat. It's easy to remember, but like most people do not remember how to reply to salamat in Filipino as well, which is walang anuman. You can always just say you're welcome. Okay, the next word is nahihilo, meaning dizzy. Wonder why people like this word, nahihilo. I mean, I myself do not like this word because I do not want to be dizzy. If someone invites you to go to the merry-go-round and you can't really hack it, you could say this sentence. Nahihilo ako sa merry-go-round. Nahihilo ako sa merry-go-round. This means I get dizzy riding the merry-go-round. If you're in the Philippines and you go to our favorite and only amusement park near Manila, you probably know what a flying fiesta is. And usually people are nahihilo in the flying fiesta.
Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Wala na akong may dadagdag pa sa sinabi mo. I couldn't agree with you more. Our first expression is, wala na akong may dadagdag pa sa sinabi mo. Wala na akong maidadagdag pa sa sinabi mo. This means, I couldn't agree with you more. So, literally, this actually means, I can't add anything more to what you said. So, basically like, I agree with you with whatever you said. That's it. Like, yes. Well, hindi ako sigurado. Well, I'm not sure. Well, hindi ako sigurado. Well, hindi ako sigurado. This means, well, I'm not sure. Well, hindi ako sigurado. I'm not sure. Siyempre. Of course. Siyempre. Siyempre. Of course. It's like, do you want to get a bonus? Siyempre. Do you want to get 10 more days of vacation? Siyempre. Do you want to get free lunch every day? Siyempre. Do you want to see me next time again? Sa palagay ko. I guess so. Sa palagay ko. Sa palagay ko. This means, I guess so. So, yeah, I guess. This means you're not really agreeing with them. But it's somewhat like what you are thinking. Not totally, but it's more on the, okay, yeah, I see what you're going with this. I guess so. Sasabihin ko palang sana yan. I was just going to say that. Okay, our next expression is sasabihin ko palang sana yan. Sasabihin ko palang sana yan. This means I was just going to say that. Yeah, so this is on the I agree with you with whatever you said because that's actually what I'm also thinking. So you don't even have to say anything. The person just said it for you. So good for you. You guys should be together. Oo, tama ka. Yes, you're right. Oo, tama ka. Oo, tama ka. This means yes, you're right. This one, it's actually kind of like you're opening towards disagreement. You think that this is something you use to agree to someone. Well, it is if you don't include the word but. It's like, yes, you're right, but it usually goes like that, right? So, oo, tama ka, pero mali ka. You're wrong. Mali ka. Mali ka. You're wrong. This expression, you don't really just use it on your own. Just say, mali ka. It sounds very childish. You just say you're wrong. So you have to follow it with why you think that person is wrong, or else you'd act like some kid with a tantrum or some very, very close-minded person. Sa tingin ko, hindi. I don't think so. Sa tingin ko, hindi. Sa tingin ko, hindi. I don't think so. Yeah, this is a much softer way to disagree. Sa tingin ko, hindi. It's it's not a fact that you're wrong, but in my opinion, you are wrong. And reasoning. Don't forget to reason, or else you won't succeed in your disagreements. Siguro. Maybe. Filipinos actually like using this one. Siguro. Siguro. This means maybe. So yeah, if you don't want to be I don't really agree with you, but I don't really want to disagree with you, you could just be in the middle and say maybe, siguro. Well, it's actually, you could also use this to open up another argument. Siguro, I'd like to do this one more than what you just said. Or siguro, this is a better idea. Maybe this is a better idea. Totoo yan. That's true. Here's another expression you could use to agree to someone, which is totoo yan. Totoo yan. It means that's true. If it's true, then you agree that what they're saying is correct, and you could say totoo yan.
Anong pangalan mo? What's your name? The first question that you should know is Anong pangalan mo? In English, what's your name? So, how do you answer this question? For instance, my name is Erica. So in Filipino, I would say, Ako si Erica. Or, I'm Erica. This is a very useful question when you want to get to know other people. So you better remember this. Anong pangalan mo? In English, what's your name? Kamusta? How are you? The next question that you should know is, Kumusta? Or in English, how are you? How do you respond to this question? You say, Mabuti naman. Ikaw? Or, I'm good. You? So, this is also again another very common question that you can ask your friends just because you're friends. So, you have to know how they are. Parang lagi na lang magka-sarcastic yung... Actually, the longer version is Kamusta ka? But no one really says that now. So, you can just simply say, Kamusta? Yeah, or even shorter, you can just say, Musta. So, it's very nice actually to say this to people, especially if you haven't seen them for a long time. Taga saan ka? Where are you from? So, the next question that you should know is, Taga saan ka? Or in English, where are you from? So, how do you answer this question? If you are, say, from Manila, then you reply, Taga Maynila ako. Or, I'm from Manila. So, say you are from from Lisbon, then you'd say, taga Lisbon ako. Or, I'm from Lisbon. So this is also a very important question to know, especially if you're just meeting someone for the first time. So, I don't know, just people are very interested in where you go home. Or where you're from, not really where you go home. Kailan ang iyong kaarawan? When is your birthday? Kailan ang iyong kaarawan? In English, when is your birthday? So if you want to really respond to this question in fluent Filipino, then you would say, sa ika-25 ng Disyembre ang aking kaarawan. Or in English, this translates to my birthday is on December 25th. If it's December 25, then obviously your birthday is on Christmas. But if say August 9, then you would say in Filipino, ika-siyam ng Agosto. But no one really says that, so you just say August 9. Just say August 9. Ang kaarawan ko ay sa August 9. Or my birthday is on August 9. Saan ka nakatira? Where do you live? Saan ka nakatira? Or, where do you live? So, for example, you live in Makati City, which is the business district. So, you will say, nakatira ako sa Makati. Or, I live in Makati. Saan ka nagtatrabaho? Where do you work? The next question that you should know is, saan ka nagtatrabaho? Or, where do you work? So, for example, you want to say that you work at Intel. Or sometimes there's call center in Intel, right? So there are many call centers in the Philippines and many younger Filipinos work in call centers. And so you can say, nagtatrabaho ako sa Intel. Or I work at Intel. And then usually the follow-up question would be, what do you do at Intel? So then you would say, I'm a call center agent, or I'm a, IT person, or I'm the CEO of Intel. Oh, wow. Ano ang phone number mo? What's your phone number? The next question that you should know is, ano ang phone number mo? Oh, we're getting really in closer territories. So, for example, you really want to be friends with this person or more than friends. Then you ask, ano ang phone number mo? Or, what's your phone number? For instance, you want to give your phone number to this person, whoever this person is. Ang number ko ay, and then your number. For instance, 0123456789. In English, my number is this. So usually people would still ask for your phone number. But usually they would say, what's your cell phone number? Saan ka nag-aral ng Filipino? Where did you learn Filipino? Saan ka nag-aral ng Filipino? In English, where did you learn Filipino? So this is very interesting and very important to be able to respond to this. When the person that you're talking to is really amazed with your Filipino, so you better reply with, nag-aral ako gamit ang filipinopod101.com. Or, I studied with filipinopod101.com. So where did you learn Filipino? Mahilig ka ba sa pagkaing Pilipino? Do you like Filipino food? Mahilig ka ba sa pagkaing Pilipino? Or, do you like Filipino food? For instance, you really do. So, how do you respond to this question? You say, oo, lalong-lalo na ang adobo, if adobo is your favorite. Or it can be kare-kare. Then you would say, oo, lalong-lalo na ang kare-kare. In English, yes, especially kare-kare or adobo. This is very important question to know because you usually get asked this question when you say go to gatherings or parties, or just when you're staying in a Filipino friend's house, right? Their moms would usually ask you, oh, do you like Filipino food? What do you want to eat? And then they will most probably give you that food, serve you that food. They're very hospitable. Saan ang magandang pasyalan sa Pilipinas? Where is it nice to go to in the Philippines? The next question that you should know is, saan ang magandang pasyalan sa Pilipinas? In English, where is it nice to go to in the Philippines? If I'm going to give an advice now, I would say Palawan, definitely. And you would see, just type Palawan in Google, you would see really beautiful pictures. But if you want to be really specific, where exactly in Palawan, then either El Nido or Coron. So, for instance, I would say, sa Coron, Palawan. Or in English, in Coron, Palawan. It's very nice actually, very cheap, and very beautiful place. So I haven't been to Coron, I've been to El Nido. I've been to El Nido, not Coron, not yet.
Pwede ba akong makakuha ng mapa? Could I get a map? Pwede ba akong makakuha ng mapa? Pwede ba akong makakuha ng mapa? Could I get a map? If you don't want to use up your roaming on your Google Maps, there's always maps in the tourist information guide. Or actually, in bookstores, you could also buy maps if you need them. Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Do you speak English? Here's another phrase you might want to learn. Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles? Do you speak English? Well, perhaps the answer to this is maybe perhaps yes. I don't know. But let's not assume. Let's not assume that everyone in the Philippines speak English, but most of us do. May bus bang galing airport papuntang syudad? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? May bus bang galing airport papuntang syudad? May bus bang galing airport papuntang syudad? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? Well, if you are flying from Manila, the airport is actually in the middle of the city, so you don't really need a bus. I wouldn't really know because my family is very nice enough to always get me from the airport if I need to be coming from the airport in the Philippines. Thank you, family! Libre ba ang Wi-Fi? Is the Wi-Fi free? In this day and age, I think this one is very important. Libre ba ang Wi-Fi? Libre ba ang Wi-Fi? This means, is the Wi-Fi free? Yeah, so like if you have your iPhone, iMac, I love you with you, then you might want to get the Wi-Fi. Meron ba kayong bakanting kwarto ngayong gabi? Do you have any vacancies tonight? Okay, here's another phrase you might want to know when you're asking at the hotel. Meron ba kayong bakanting kwarto ngayong gabi? Meron ba kayong bakanting kwarto ngayong gabi? This means, do you have any vacancies for tonight? So yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't reserve beforehand at the hotel, but in case you didn't, this is a good phrase you might want to remember. Pwede bang lumipat sa ibang kwarto? Could I move to a different room? Pwede bang lumipat sa ibang kwarto? Pwede bang lumipat sa ibang kwarto? Could I move to a different room? You know, you never know. Maybe you have noisy neighbors, or you just feel like there's someone else in the room. Let's hope not. Then you might want to ask this question. May reservation ako. I have a reservation. May reservation ako. May reservation ako. I have a reservation. Yeah, it's very simple. Easy to remember. May, it sounds like the 5th month of the year. Reservation. Reservation. Ako. Me. May reservation ako. Pwedeng makahingi ng menu? Could we have the menu, please? Okay, so here's another one that I think you will find useful and would use a lot, since food is very cheap in the Philippines and you want to try a lot of restaurants. Pwedeng makahingi ng menu? Pwedeng makahingi ng menu? Could we have the menu, please? There you go. Eat to your heart's content. Try out all the restaurants you want and just don't go to McDonald's every time. Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Could I have the check? Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Could I have the check? So usually there's a gesture in the Philippines for the check, and it's like this. It's like a rectangle. So when you do this to the waiter or waitress, whatever, then that means you want the bill. But you could also remember this word. You could also try and remember this phrase. Pwede bang makuha ang bill? Allergic ako sa mani. I'm allergic to peanuts. Okay, here's one very important travel phrase in case you're someone like this. Allergic ako sa mani. Allergic ako sa mani. I'm allergic to peanuts. Allergic is also the same in Filipino. So you just need to find the Filipino word for the thing that you're allergic to. Like in this case, peanuts is mani. Like maybe chicken. Chicken is manok. Allergic ako sa manok. Shrimp, maybe shrimp. Allergic ako sa hipon. Anyway, if you're allergic to something and you want to find out what it is in Filipino, perhaps maybe you could just put it in the comments and we'll try to help you out. Tubig po. Water please. Here's another travel phrase you should know. Tubig po. Water please. So here po doesn't actually mean please. It's a polite particle. You add it to the sentence to make it sound polite. Because you want to be polite when asking for water since it's like free. You need to be polite. Magkano ito? How much is this? Magkano ito? Magkano ito? This means, how much is this? So yeah, definitely travel also means you want to go shopping. So you might want to remember this phrase. How much is this? Magkano ito? So ito actually is this. So it has to be somewhere near you. Gusto ko ng 10 nito. I'd like 10 of these. Okay, so if you want not just one of something, you could try using this one. Gusto ko ng 10 nito. Gusto ko ng 10 nito. This means I'd like 10 of these. 10 means 10. So if you replace 10 with another number, then you could make any sentence you want. For example, you want, 50. 50 is 50. So, gusto ko ng 50 nito. Or if you just want 3, you could say, gusto ko ng 3 nito. I don't know what these are. But if it's 10, maybe it's like some kind of souvenir, Pwede niyo ba akong bigyan ng discount? Could you give me a discount? Hey, another travel phrase you should know is, especially in the Philippines and if you want to have some bargain, pwede niyo ba akong bigyan ng discount? Pwede niyo ba akong bigyan ng discount? Could you give me a discount? So, here's a tip when you're trying to bargain for something. You don't just ask this. You should have a price in mind that you would like to offer them back. So it's more of like a negotiation, not like, oh, can you give me a discount? They'll probably ask you, so how much would you like to buy it for? So you have to be prepared for that and not just ask, give me a discount. It's like, you have to name your price as well. Tumatanggap ba kayo ng credit card? Do you take credit card? Here's another phrase that you might want to know when traveling. Tumatanggap ba kayo ng credit card? Tumatanggap ba kayo ng credit card? Do you take credit card? So yeah, of course, you just have a limited cash that you exchange. Your currency for the local currency. So you might want to just spend the cash in the places that don't accept credit card. Or else you might really need it somewhere that doesn't accept anything else but cash and you didn't have it. So yeah, you might want to ask this question a lot. Nasaan ang istasyon ng tren? Where's the train station? Nasaan ang istasyon ng tren? Nasaan ang istasyon ng tren? Where's the train station? There's not really much train stations in the Philippines, but there's just a few of them, maybe 20, 30. And they're only just in Metro Manila, but bus stations are also not that common. It's basically, maybe we should make a whole video discussing transportation in the Philippines because it's very complicated actually. It's not just like, hey, there's trains and stations. It's more of like, you need to know which buses take which route and how much it costs beforehand because anyway, you need to be a real veteran to survive Philippine public transportation. Excuse me, magkano po ang pamasahe? Excuse me, what's the fare? Here's another phrase that could be useful when you're in the Philippines. Excuse me, magkano ang pamasahe? Excuse me, magkano ang pamasahe? Excuse me, what's the fare? So, yeah, usually you might want to ask this if you don't know how much the fare is because, I mean, like, not for the trains, you have to actually pay before going in the train, but like for buses or jeepneys or tricycles, usually there's like a sign, tiny sign how much it costs to go from somewhere to somewhere, but like it's either very far away or you couldn't see it, so you just have to ask the driver how much the fare is. So yeah, we definitely need that whole lesson about Philippine public transportation. Pwede niyo po ba akong kunan ng litrato? Could you take a picture of me, please? Okay, here's another phrase you might want to learn when traveling. Pwede niyo po ba akong kunan ng litrato? Pwede niyo po ba akong kunan ng litrato? Could you take a picture of me, please? I don't know. If you want a group shot, then might as well ask like someone to take it for you. I bet they won't run with your camera if that's what you're thinking, because that's just rude. Yeah, can be useful. So that you could have your Instagram pic later on without the selfie stick. Just kidding. Ito ba ang tamang bus papuntang airport? Is this the right bus for the airport? Ito ba ang tamang bus papuntang airport? Ito ba ang tamang bus papuntang airport? Is this the right bus for the airport? So, yeah, I guess when you're returning back, you might wanna not get lost to get to the airport, but to be honest, I don't really think there's a direct bus to the airport. Although I only have experience in Manila, and I've always been lucky enough to have my family get me there. But I guess you'd like have to take a taxi. Meron ba kayong mairerekomenda? Do you have any recommendations? Meron ba kayong mairerekomenda? Meron ba kayong mairerekomenda? This means, do you have any recommendations? Yeah, like if you can't really choose from the menu, then you could ask the person, meron ba kayong mairerekomenda? Usually they would point to the most expensive thing there, so. But yeah, usually the most expensive thing is also the nicest.
Maging, to become. Maging, to become. Maging can mean to be or to become. Mahirap maging hindi tapat sa sarili. It's hard not to be honest with yourself. Gustuhin, to like. So next word is gustuhin, to like. Nagustuhan niya ang pinadala mo. She liked what you sent. Gawin, to do. Next word is gawin, which means to do. It's easier said than done. In Filipino, we say, mas madaling sabihin kaysa gawin. And your mom will always use this because your mom always has many things that she wants you to do. Sabihin, to say. So our next verb is sabihin. In English, it can mean either to say or to tell. So for example, we want to say in English, don't tell our secret to anyone. In Filipino, you would say, huwag mong sabihin ang sikreto natin kahit kanino. Ipaliwanag, to explain. Ipaliwanag, to explain. Dapat ipaliwanag ng guro ng mabuti ang paksa. The teacher should explain the matter thoroughly. So for example, you're resting, looking at your phone, and then here comes your mom and tells you, magpaliwanag ka. explain. This is very useful when you have to talk to your mom. Marinig, to hear. Marinig, to hear. Hindi kita marinig. I can't hear you. Again, you can use this when you're talking to your mom. Probably you can tell her, I didn't do this because I didn't hear you tell me do this. That's a very unsatisfactory answer for your mom all the time. Pumunta, to go. Pumunta, to go. So we can say, gusto kong pumunta sa Palawan. I want to go to Palawan. Tara na, biyahe tayo. Alamin, to know. Alamin, to know. Gusto kong alamin kung mas mahirap bang matutunan ang Japanese o Chinese. I want to know if it's harder to learn Japanese or Chinese. Compared to Japanese or Chinese, Filipino is easier, right? So, please take the time to study Filipino. You will take less time than studying Japanese than if you go and study Japanese or Chinese. So, you know what to learn. Kunin, to take. Kunin, to take. For example, we want to say in English, please take the bill so that we can leave already. In Filipino, what you will say is, kunin mo na ang bill natin para makaalis na tayo. So when you go to the Philippines and you eat at a restaurant and you want to ask for the check, just do this hand sign. Makita, to see. Makita, to see. Huwag kang mainis pag nakita mo. Don't get annoyed when you see it. So, what are the things that you get annoyed when you see? Dumating, to arrive. Dumating, to arrive. Dumating na ang pinakahihintay mong balita. Your long-awaited news has finally arrived. Isipin, to think. Isipin, to think. Isipin nating mabuti bago magdesisyon. Let's think of it thoroughly before making a decision. Actually, this is very important because every day of your life you have to think. Tumingin, to look. Tumingin, to look. Huwag kang tumingin sa malayo pag may kausap ka. Don't look far away when you're talking with someone. Because obviously you're talking with someone, right? How would it feel like if you're talking to this person face to face and you're looking at the side like this? Naisin, to want. Naisin, to want. I want to become an engineer rather than be a doctor. Mas nais kong maging inhinyero kaysa maging doktor. Magbigay, to give. Magbigay, to give. For example, someone asks you, oh, who can give me advice on something? And then you say, Alex gives excellent advice on whatever that is. In Filipino, how you would say it, magaling magbigay ng payo si Alex. Gamitin, to use. Gamitin, to use. So for example, I don't know where you can use actually you can use gamitin a lot. For example, let's use it in a proper sentence. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ang may nakasulat na bawal gamitin. So, in English, we can say, we can't use the ones which are marked don't use. I have a pretty straightforward, don't use it. Hanapin, to find. Hanapin, to find. You're asking your mom, where is this thing that I'm looking for? So she says, Pina, find it in the second drawer. In Filipino, it means, hanapin mo sa ikalawang drawer. Usually, your mom will call you Pina, according to her, if you don't use your eyes to look for things. It's actually very useful. So, just remember that if you are going to look for something, don't ask your mom. Because you don't know what kind of fate will befall you. You might be a pineapple at the end. Lumabas, to go out. Lumabas, or to go out. So, you want to ask permission from your parents before you go out. How do we say it in Filipino? Magpaalam ka muna sa iyong mga magulang bago ka lumabas. Ask permission from your parents before you go out. Someday, kids, you will be parents too. Magtanong, to ask. Magtanong, to ask. So, for example, you have a new office mate and you want to tell your office mate, huwag kang mahiyang magtanong kapag hindi mo alam ang sagot. In English, what you just said means, don't hesitate to ask if you don't know the answer. Magtrabaho, to work. The next verb is magtrabaho, or to work. So, for example, you want to say, as much as possible, I don't want to work overtime. In Filipino, you can tell your boss, ayaw kong magtrabaho ng overtime hanggat maaari. It's the way you conjugate verbs, but it's in Filipino. And then trabajo comes from the Spanish word trabajo. Pumasok, to enter. Pumasok, to enter. For example, you went to a club and you have a friend who looks 18, actually, who looks younger than 18, like a high school student. So you can tell this friend, you are not allowed to enter the club if you're under 18 years old. Or in Filipino, bawal pumasok sa club ang mas bata sa 18 taong gulang. Maramdaman, to feel. So next verb is maramdaman or to feel. For example, you really are irritated with a person and you don't want the person to feel that you're irritated with him or her. So if you want to say in English, I don't want her to feel that I'm frustrated, then you would say in Filipino, ayaw kong maramdaman niya ang inis ko sa kanya. But I think you have to approach her and tell her that you are frustrated. So go ahead and tell her. Subukan, to try. Subukan. This again, some like really inspiring example sentences that we have here. You want to say to your friend, because you want to be really encouraging, why don't you try it before you say that you can't? And assuming that this friend cannot understand English, then you would have to learn the Filipino. You would say, bakit di mo subukan bago mo sabihin na hindi mo kaya? Mag-iwan, to leave. Mag-iwan. It actually means to leave something. You want to say in Filipino, mag-iwan ka ng 500 pesos or ng 500 piso para pambili ng pagkain. In English, please leave 500 pesos to buy food. Tumakbo, to run. Last verb for this lesson is tumakbo or to run. So for example, you are running and then you realize it's 200 meters already. So you would say, it's tiring to run more than 200 meters. And in Filipino, if you really want to say it, you would say, nakakapagod tumakbo ng higit sa 200 metro. Pamilya. Pamilya. Family. Our first word is pamilya or family. 6 kami sa pamilya. 6 kami sa pamilya. There are 6 people in my family. So in the Philippines, as usual, it's like when you ask people how many they are in their family, some would ask, oh, do we include all the extended members, the members of the extended family, or just the nuclear? Because there are cases when people live with with the members of the extended family, right? That makes for a really big family. Tatay, tatay, father. Tatay or father. Hindi nagagalit ang tatay ko. Hindi nagagalit ang tatay ko. In English, my father never gets angry. So my dad, he also doesn't get angry much. It's kind of weird because he's always like this mid-state between angry and not angry. But I remember when we were young, my sister doesn't really want to study well. She doesn't like take notes in school, and she's always in the toilet when there's like an important announcement by the teacher. I don't know how she can time that. So usually when she comes out of school, she doesn't know what happened in class, and she doesn't know the assignment. She doesn't know anything. There was one time that he got really mad, so he made giliw. That's my sister's name, giliw, which means dear in Filipino. It's like a very cute name. He was so mad, he made her kneel on, what do you call this? Mongo beans. Mongo seeds, right? Hello, Giliw. Asawa. Asawa. Husband or spouse. Asawa or husband. Ang aking asawa ay binalak magpari, ngunit buti na lang, hindi natuloy. Ang aking asawa ay binalak magpari, ngunit buti na lang, hindi natuloy. My husband planned on becoming a priest, but I'm thankful he didn't go through with it. Who thought of this? So in Filipino, actually, when you say asawa, it can mean both husband and wife. So actually, the best translation for asawa is spouse, right? So when you want to specify that the asawa that you're referring to is male, or the husband, you would say, asawang lalaki, right? He could have been a priest saving the world, but yeah, thankfully, he didn't go through with it according to the sentence. Or probably he's now regretting his decision. We don't know. Anak na lalaki. Anak na lalaki. Son. Anak na lalaki. Or son. Si Ted at Tina ay may 4 na anak na lalaki. Si Ted at Tina ay may 4 na anak na lalaki. Ted and Tina have 4 sons. When you want to say son, you would add lalaki, which is male. So, anak na lalaki. Or, if you want to say daughter, then you would say anak na babae. Babae for female. Usually, you just say, oh, my kid. Right? My kid, actually. Ang anak ko, hindi na naman pumasok sa eskwelahan. My kid didn't go again to school. That was my mom's line every time when we talked about Giliw. Because Giliw really doesn't like taking down notes. Kapatid na lalaki. Kapatid na lalaki. Brother. Kapatid na lalaki. Or, in English, brother. Ang kapatid niyang lalaki ay napakatalino. Ang kapatid niyang lalaki ay napakatalino. His brother is extremely smart. Here, kapatid again is a gender-neutral word, which means sibling. So, if you want to say brother, you would add lalaki to kapatid. So, it would be kapatid na lalaki. Or if you want to say sister, then it would be kapatid na babae. Babae meaning female. In the family, there's always ways of calling brothers, sisters, right? So, for an older brother, you would say kuya. For elder sister, you would say ate. Tiyo, tiyo, uncle. Tiyo or uncle. Ang tiyo ko ay masipag. Ang tiyo ko ay masipag. My uncle is hardworking. So usually, younger people would call uncles as tito. So they would just call them tito. You can also say tito to anyone like a bit at the same age as your tito. For instance, like you meet someone and then you start talking to this someone, but they're kind of like more of a like mom-dad image. So you would call the dad image as like tito, right? Something like that. Lolo. Lolo. Grandfather. Lolo or grandfather. Magaling mag-Ingles ang aking lolo. Magaling mag-Ingles ang aking lolo. My grandfather has excellent English. Biyenang lalaki. Biyenang lalaki. Father-in-law. Biyenang lalaki. Or father-in-law. Ang aking biyenang lalaki ay nakakatakot. Ang aking biyenang lalaki ay nakakatakot. My father-in-law is scary. Nanay. Nanay. Mother. Nanay. Or mother. Walang katulad ang aking nanay. Walang katulad ang aking nanay. There is no one like my mother. Because my mom is weird. She's very funny. I don't know. I think she was normal. Now she's a mom. When I'm away, I talk to her on Facebook video, right? Video call. And then so I talk to her. And the first thing that she noticed after so many things that I discussed with her, like, oh, this, like, how graduate school is, blah, blah. And then her immediate reaction is, oh, did you change your sheets? Kapatid na babae. Kapatid na babae. Sister. Kapatid na babae. Or sister. May isa akong nakababatang kapatid na babae. May isa akong nakababatang kapatid na babae. I have one younger sister. So this is the same thing that we discussed earlier with the word kapatid. So it's a gender-neutral noun. And you can add lalaki or babae for male, female respectively to make it into a gendered noun. So for kapatid na babae, to mean sister, you added babae, which is female.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.